People inside the downtown bank barely noticed the quiet little girl, until she stepped up to the counter and said something that made the entire room fall silent. The afternoon rush hour at Riverside Community Bank was loud, busy and impatient as always. Customers stood in long lines, tapping their feet, scrolling through their phones, waiting for the day to be over. In the middle of all that noise, a small voice spoke. "Excuse me, I just want to see my balance." Everyone turned. A little black girl, no older than 9, stood at the counter wearing a faded pink backpack and holding a slightly crumpled account booklet. She looked nervous but determined, like she'd practiced this line over and over before walking in. Behind her, people exchanged confused looks. Why was a child alone in a bank? Why was she asking to check her balance? At one of the VIP lounge chairs, a man chuckled under his breath. Ethan Cole, 42, self-made millionaire, owner of 3 tech companies. Dressed in a custom suit that probably cost more than most people's monthly salaries. He leaned back, arms crossed, watching her like she was some kind of entertainment. "Cute," he whispered to himself, probably checking if she has $10. The little girl's eyes shifted nervously between the teller and her booklet. The teller, Mrs. Peterson, raised an eyebrow. "Honey, do your parents know you're here?" "Yes, ma'am," the girl replied softly. "But they couldn't come with me today. I just need to check how much is in my account." Mrs. Peterson hesitated. "You have an account here?" The girl nodded quickly. "Uh-huh. It's under Harper Williams." Ethan smirked, shaking his head. "Harper? With an account here?" "Sure." A couple of customers in line whispered, clearly skeptical. Some even smiled pityingly, assuming this girl was confused or imagining things. Harper slid her booklet across the counter with both hands. Careful, like she didn't want to damage it. Mrs. Peterson opened it, flipping through the pages slowly, then frowned. Not because something was wrong, but because something wasn't adding up. Ethan noticed the teller's expression and chuckled again. "What, the kid's account doesn't exist?" He muttered loud enough for the people around him to hear. "Told you." Harper heard. Her shoulders tensed, but she didn't turn around. Mrs. Peterson typed Harper's name into the system. She paused, typed again. Her eyebrows lifted slightly. She leaned forward, lowering her voice. "Sweetheart, can I ask who helped you open this account?" Harper shrugged. "A nice lady. She told me to keep the booklet safe." Mrs. Peterson stared at the screen, her lips parting in confusion. There was something in her eyes, something between disbelief and shock. But she quickly hid it. Ethan stood from his seat, curiosity getting the better of him. The smirk was still there, confident, dismissive, sure of his own assumptions. He walked closer, folding his hands behind his back. "This should be interesting," he whispered smugly. A security guard, noticing the movement, took a step closer as well, watching Harper like she didn't belong. The room got quieter. More people turned their attention to the small girl on her tiptoes, trying to see the computer screen that seemed impossibly high for her. Harper looked up at the teller again. "Ma'am, can I see it now? My balance?" Her voice trembled just enough to break a few hearts. But not Ethan's. He was still smirking. Mrs. Peterson swallowed hard. She clicked something. The screen refreshed. Her eyes widened. She leaned back slowly, staring at Harper the way someone stares at a person whose story they suddenly realize they never understood. Ethan raised an eyebrow. "What? What's the problem?" he said, amused. "Let me guess. She's overdrawn by $5? But the teller didn't answer him. She didn't even look at him. Her eyes were locked on Harper, like she couldn't process what she was seeing. Customers around them leaned in. Security stepped closer. Ethan's smirk began to fade just slightly. Harper tightened her grip on the counter. "What does it say?" she whispered. Mrs. Peterson opened her mouth and froze. Mrs. Peterson stared at the computer screen so long that people in line started shifting uncomfortably. Her face went pale, then tense, then stunned all over again. Harper leaned forward, hands flat on the counter. "Ma'am, is everything okay?" Mrs. Peterson blinked rapidly, then exhaled like she'd forgotten to breathe. "Sweetheart," she said softly, "I think You should come around the counter for a moment." That alone made the entire lobby whisper. Banks never let customers behind the counter, especially not children. Harper hesitated but nodded. Ethan folded his arms, smirk returning slightly. "Oh, great," he muttered. "She probably has $20, and the teller wants to give her a sticker." But the teller wasn't smiling, not even close. She guided Harper gently to her side of the counter and crouched, slightly, so the little girl could see the glowing screen. "This," Mrs. Peterson whispered, "is your account." Harper squinted. Her lips parted. "That's my number?" Mrs. Peterson nodded. The balance on the monitor practically blazed through the room. A number so large that even adults would think it was a typo. Not a few hundred, not a few thousand. It was enough to buy a house. Enough to change a life. 6 figures. Clean. Real. Verified. A stunned gasp rippled through the lobby. Even Ethan froze. His smirk fell off his face like it had been wiped with a hand. That can't be right," he said sharply, stepping forward. "She's a kid. Kids don't have that kind of money." Mrs. Peterson straightened, voice suddenly firm. "Mr. Cole, this is a private matter. Please step back." The millionaire wasn't used to being told no. "What do you mean private?" This must be some kind of system glitch. "Who put that money there? It's impossible." Harper looked up at him, confused. "Why are you mad?" she whispered. Ethan exhaled through his nose, trying to regain control of the moment. "I'm not mad. I'm just curious." But Harper didn't believe him. Mrs. Peterson turned back to the screen, pulling up the source of deposits. Her eyes widened even more. "Oh my goodness." The lobby grew quieter. "What now?" Ethan demanded. Mrs. Peterson scrolled, revealing a list of deposits. Regular, precise, made every single month for years. Each labeled simply, "For Harper," no sender name, no explanation. Just those 2 words. Harper's eyes watered. "That's from my mom," she whispered. She passed away last year." The room fell silent. Even Ethan's expression softened. Mrs. Peterson's voice trembled. "Your mother has been putting money into this account for you since you were born. She planned everything. She left this for you." Harper looked at the screen again, small fingers touching the edge like it was something holy. "She told me to keep the booklet safe," she whispered. "She said one day it would matter." Ethan swallowed hard. For the first time that day, he looked embarrassed. Deeply, uncomfortably. He stepped back, rubbing the back of his neck. I didn't know," he muttered. Mrs. Peterson placed a gentle hand on Harper's shoulder. "You're going to be okay, sweetheart. Your mom made sure of that." Harper wiped her eyes, trying to be strong. Ethan stared at her with a look he rarely showed anyone. Humility. "I shouldn't have laughed," he said quietly. "I judged you before I knew anything." Harper stayed silent. Ethan cleared his throat. "If you ever need help managing that money, someone trustworthy, you can come to me. No charges, no business angle, just help." Harper nodded slowly but didn't smile. Mrs. Peterson handed her the printed balance slip, the proof of everything her mother left behind. People in the lobby stepped aside as Harper walked toward the doors, holding the slip like a treasure. Ethan watched her leave, the weight of his guilt heavy on his face. For the first time in a long time, the millionaire didn't feel rich at all. Like and comment below if this story touched you, and tell us about your thoughts.